All right, we're back. The On Deck podcast. We're back here to talk about our American League predictions for this year, division winners, wild card. I'm your boy Phil from Shirley with my boy Drew Minotti and the Queen of On Deck, Alice herself. Let's go, guys. Starting it off right now with the American League East. Listen, a lot of injuries lately to the Yankees. The Yankee fans getting upset. It's not looking good. I'm going back and forth. A couple weeks ago, everyone's saying this is the Yankees division. A month ago, the Yankees division, Yankees division. They're the best team in the American League. I don't see it. I got to go with the Boston Red Sox. I think the Red Sox have added a lot of players to their team. They were a good, young, scrappy team last year. You still got Devers there. Give me the Red Sox this year to win that division. Boy, would I fucking love it. I got to go with the Red Sox.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, like you said, before injuries, you feel like Yankees have this locked up. But right now, going into the season, last couple of weeks of spring training, I was back and forth. I feel like there's three teams in this division that really stand out. I would love to pick the Red Sox. I feel like they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. But I'm going to pick the Orioles. I think Baltimore. I mean, I don't really trust their pitching, but at the same time, I feel like they just have such good core of young guys that they're just due. I feel like they're due to win this division. They've been pretty disappointing, but at the same time, I feel like their closer's back, and I feel like they can start to put this together finally. So I'm going Baltimore AL East champs.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Phil. I think the Yankees might have had it, and if we'd recorded before, I think, all would have said very different things. But these injuries on both New York teams are really killing us right now. I'm going to agree with Drew, though. I'm going to go with the Orioles. I think that in 2023 they got so close, and then they had a lot of kinks to work out last year. But at the core, they retained a lot of the same team, and we'll see what they did with the pitching and see if it improves enough.
Love it. I love that none of us took the Yankees. I know we're going to catch shit from at least one of our followers. Moving on to the American League Central, a division that, last year I'm looking at and I'm thinking, oh, this division is not going to be that good. But yet they put three teams in the playoffs. Kansas City and Detroit go and make it. Is it because the American League's terrible? You know what? These teams are not that bad. The Kansas City Royals are actually a solid team. They got good pitching. Detroit adds Flaherty back this year. You got Skubal again. You got some young talent there. They went on a crazy run last year. Cleveland's just been the team there consistently. I feel like it's their division, but at the same time, I think it's not their division anymore. I think that it's Detroit or Kansas City, but if I'm going to put my money on somebody and my pick, I'm going with Kansas City. I like this young team. I like the pitching staff on this team. Raggins is a stud. I think they're going to be very good. Salvador Perez is still a top player in the league. He's one of the best players. He's a great leader. He does not get the respect he deserves. His numbers are just insane. Every year you see it, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's a stud. Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, what can we say more about this guy? He's a top five player in baseball. So, to me, Kansas City Royals are winning this division.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this division is the same in American League and National League. I feel like anyone could really win this division. I know Minnesota is kind of dumpy, but still, I feel like they might be able to pull it out.
100%.
My pick was same as you. It was between Detroit and Kansas City, and I just really like Detroit, man. I feel like last season too, they were like that sleeper team that people didn't really expect much out of them, and I think Skubal is one of the best pitchers in baseball, hands down, and they just have a young core that I think is ready to just take the next step. I know I keep saying that, but mine was between Detroit and Kansas City, and I'm going Detroit as the Central champs.
I'm obviously picking the White Sox after 121.
I forgot about them. I really forgot about them. I'm like, there's another team in this division. Who is it?
I think that they forgot about them last year. So, I don't know. I'm going to go a little wild, though, not Chicago Wild, but I'm going to go with the Twins. I think that they're kind of due, and Harrison Bader's there now, so obviously I have to pick them, right?
I like the Twins a lot. Yeah,
Listen, the Twins. The Twins are a team like they're very similar to the Cardinals over in
Hmm.
the
Yep.
Central, where it's like every year they just fucking spit out these guys where they're just ball players and they're
Yep.
constantly competing for that division. I remember, all those years in the early 2000s, the those Minnesota Twin teams just constantly making the playoffs with
Hmm.
Joe Mauer and Morneau, with Ron Gardenhire being the manager. And you just look at that team and you're thinking they're not going to be that good, but yet they're in the playoffs. So I do
Yeah.
love that pick. Bouncing over to the American League West. Um, this is a Division Two that's up for grabs. A couple really good teams over there. Obviously, Oakland, Vegas, the Athletics, they're not in the conversation. I think the Houston Astros are falling down the list. They're not the same team that they were. That lineup is not the same. Still have Alvarez in the middle of it, but the lineup is not the same. Still good starting pitching, though. I think people don't realize how good their starting pitching is. But I gotta go with the Texas Rangers. I think DeGrom's going to be healthy this year. I think that Kumar Rocker's actually going to be pitching in this team and actually giving them some innings. Their lineup is legit. Corey Seager is a fucking stud. Give me the Texas Rangers. I think they're going to have a great year.
Yeah. I mean, I think this division's tough. It's
Hmm.
really tough. I feel like Houston, like you said, I feel like they're not going to be the team they have been, but I think they'll still surprise a couple people.
Yep.
But I'm going Seattle. I feel like their pitching staff is one of the best in baseball. I feel like I know their offense isn't the greatest,
Hmm.
but I just have faith in them to do something and make a nice run. Um, I don't know. Like, yeah, I was between them and Texas, but I think I'm
Drew
definitely
has
gonna
these
go.
teams, though. He picks Seattle every year. He picks Baltimore every year. I'm starting to get on to him.
He didn't
He
pick
has these
Baltimore.
American League teams that he
I
loves.
did. I picked Baltimore. I picked
Yeah, he
Baltimore for
picks
AL
Baltimore
Like,
every
East.
oh,
year. They'll
Phil said
probably be in his
Boston.
fucking World Series too.
Yep. Yep.
Listen, man. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Of
I think
course.
I'm going
No,
Seattle.
I
Hesitate a
like the
little bit
starting
more when
pitching.
you say that.
Listen,
I'm
these
going
are
Seattle.
predictions in March, so it'd be
Right.
very shocking if we are all correct, right?
I feel like Phil has like a fucking crystal ball over there, and somehow he comes up all the time with
If
these
Phil has a crystal
predictions.
ball and can change these things and still puts the Mets in a wild card, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
listen.
know what's going on over there. So yeah, Seattle
I
Mariners.
not going to pick the Mariners. Sorry. I think they're going to be middle of the division. I do think the Astros are falling a little bit. Altuve in left field will literally never cease to crack me up. I cannot imagine. But I think that they'll still win a couple games, but I do think they'll be end up behind the Rangers.
Mm, love it. Love it. Two for the Rangers. Astros are probably win the division now that we're all talking shit about them. But
Yeah.
my wild card picks. Number one, there's an American League East team that I did not put in there that makes the playoffs. Well, made the playoffs last year, right? And that's the Baltimore Orioles. I got to put them in, right? I have to put the Orioles in. Want to put the Yanks in, and I feel like I have to. Like, how did the Yankees
Jeez.
miss the fucking playoffs? You know what I mean? I
Yep.
gotta put the Yanks in. I'm going Orioles, Yanks, and then listen, those Astros, same thing. You talk about this team that every year, you think they're gonna fucking fall out of it. You're like, this team's not gonna be that good, and then you see that starting pitching rotation with Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, still have uh Arrighetti, who's still a solid pitcher. They got Christian Javier. I'm just spouting names off the dome too. You know what I mean? This is your boy. Like, I gotta go Houston Astros. So I'm going Orioles, Yankees, Astros.
Nice. Solid picks. This American League is open. It's wide open. I feel like this it's just crazy to think of how different American and National Leagues are.
Mm.
I almost wish the Mets were in the American League right now because I feel like it would be so much easier for us to get to the
Yep.
World Series. That being said, I'm going Rangers, Boston, New York as my three wild card teams. I feel like again, Boston could win the division easily, and the Yankees. We all could be, just talking shit right now about the
Hmm.
Yankees and that they'll just be the best team in the American League. But I had them at least making the playoffs, obviously. So Rangers, Boston, New York for me for the wild card.
All right.
Like it.
I'm going to have to go with the Yankees. I think that a lot of their players are, yes, injured right now, but a lot of them will come back. Giancarlo will come back. He's a phenomenal player. He's a little bit older, but he's still out there. He had 27 home runs last year. I mean, it's nothing to scoff at, right? So I do have to pick them. I really want to pick Boston, but I think they need another year. So I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to go with the Tigers and then the Royals for my next two.
Like it. Tigers
I
and
love that.
Royals both making it again.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I love when we all have different picks. It's
I
great,
know.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of us are always wrong.
Exactly. And we'll all be wrong. And it'll be the
Yep,
one
and we
team
can
that we
make
didn't
fun of
talk
each
about.
other.
Every year there's that one team too in each league that
Yeah.
Yeah.
no one talks about that just comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cleveland,
But
I want to pick Cleveland. Like I'm shocked that they're not on my
exactly.
list because I love Cleveland,
Yep.
and I think they're
Mm-hmm.
going
Yep.
to shock a lot of people. And like I mean the Royals, I know Alice picked them, but I just feel like they're going to shock a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. All right. That's our American League picks in March. We're probably going to be fucked up. It's probably going to be bad, but this is why we do predictions here in March. We'll have more. We'll have probably. We'll go over this probably in mid-season.
Yeah,
See where we're at. Maybe the All Star. Have some fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we'll be back with more. Let's go, Mets.
let's go
Come on.
Mets. Let's
Let's go
go.
Mets.